Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG, one of only two premiums in the game that we know as Fifi La Pew Pew. You might know it as a leFhy, a leaf blower, or even a leHeffer. This one is located on the south spawn of Serene Coast, and it's under the command of Appa561 of OLIMP. Game on. Well, it's a 105mm light field howitzer of German design, not French design. Yeah, many people think that because it's on the French tech tree that it must be actually a French Arty. It's not. It's actually a German Arty. But Wargaming were desperate to have a French premium vehicle to bring in their new French tech tree that they actually called this one a French Arty instead of a German one. I suppose they didn't want the German Arty players to actually get a decent Arty to start with, because it might have caused a lot of havoc if everyone was going down the German Arty line and they were getting great results, because some of the German Arty are very, very good indeed. So they called it a French one when it's actually German, and ever since everyone has to get down the French tech tree of the French line if they want to get the premium bonus for their crew. There is only one other Arty, premium Arty in the game. It's a British one. Now, although some people like to go down the British line, not as much as the American one. That was a direct hit on the Panther. Bit of a pity that they don't have premium Arty or the other tech trees, because of course there are many tanks, many Arty that were never put into the game, and Wargaming would make a fortune from premium Arty. In fact, it's been proven that many people actually do have the Fifi, even though they don't play Arty on a regular basis. They'll have it just to buy it and say that they've got it and to try it out, but they don't normally play Arty. Most people who are Arty are new to the game, don't have one yet because they so rarely put this Arty on sale. Now, it's capable of doing 410 alpha. It'll penetrate 53mm of armor, which is quite a lot for this caliber. And it's also got a burst radius of 1.91 meters, but it won't fire over the entire range of the map. You have to get closer to the center in order to do that. What it does have is a really absolutely phenomenal reload time, which is, by the book, 8.92 seconds. But of course, many people can reduce that, as we're seeing here for Appa, to 7.22 seconds per shot. And that means it can deal out a huge amount of damage. The DPM per minute is 2,758.9 hit points per minute. That's a lot. It's a huge amount. But of course, that's if you were able to get a penetrating shot from every shot you fired over a minute. The thing is that it's very unlikely you would get a penetrating shot from every shot, but the thing is that 53mm of pen means you will get a significant number. Now, he's pulled back into this corner, so he knows the enemy's about to come around that corner and he needs to get some shots off. So his DPM is really going to come under test as he starts shotgunning the enemy one by one. He might be able to kill that T-34 with one shot, but whether he kills the KV-1SA is another matter. Waiting for them to come around the corner. Here comes the KV-1SA. Well, he died. But unfortunately, the T-34 didn't. But he should be able to kill him by the next shot. Yep, that's how powerful it is. At close range, it is absolutely deadly. Now, there are two enemy Arties, a Hummel and another Fifi, and they're more than likely going to try and shoot into this corner. But we have moved position since we did those shotguns. We also took 3 shots from the T-34, and he was using the 57mm main gun, which can do 85 alpha. Well, the enemy started capping, and he's actually turned himself towards the cap, trying to get a shot in there. Oh, here comes another enemy. One shot takes him out of the game. Shows how powerful this gun really is in the right hands. It can be deadly. and he can shoot through the gaps of the train, but these shells are going over the top of the train into the target. Panther rounds out, direct shot into the side. He should be using the premium rounds, because at this range the premium rounds will penetrate. Again, he hits him. Load of premium round. They've got 350 alpha, but they've got much more pen. The heat rounds will do 104mm, and the armor piercing rounds will do 64mm. But at this range, against the Panther tank, they literally would just tear their way through. So it's much more preferable to use a heat round at close range than it is the HE. He used the HE on the other ones because he had plenty spare, and you only need to get a hit into the side, and that's enough to overwhelm most enemy tanks. He killed the KV-1S with one shot. And yes, he got a hit there on the Panther. Now, the enemy sooner or later is going to realize that they've got to try and deal with the Arty. Because if they don't, he's just going to keep knocking them off in the cap area. Okay, Jackson, go for the Jackson. He does hit, but the hit is on the M4A1. He absolutely must take out that Jackson. Rounds out. Oh, it didn't pen. He was using the HE, and now he's about to lose sight on these enemy. Well, he did get a critical hit. He's still loading the HE though, and now he's going to have to get close because he can't see anyone. He's the only player left alive on his team, and if he doesn't move out of this corner, the enemy is going to start firing in this direction. In fact, the first player to try and kill him is an M4A1. Now, he'd probably be better off auto-aiming, but instead we get a Challenger, and the Challenger just wipes him out with one round. Yeah, he's got a much more powerful gun. And that is the end of the game, I'm afraid. So sadly, the first game is a defeat, and there's no medals, no mastery, nothing at all on top. But the win rate from the game was 2,914, and it was a valiant defense. But there was not much he could do, considering the number of enemy tanks still available, still out there, and some of them were serious contenders in terms of the fact that they had powerful guns, they could take him out. So let's have a look at team score and see what he did. Well, the highest damage in the game turned out to be the Challenger that killed him, 1,822 hit points to him. Second highest damage was the Tiger P, who managed 1,423. Third highest damage was the T29 on our team with 1,407. When it came to Appa, he got 1,166, and he was actually beaten by 4 members of the enemy team, one of his own, which puts him in 6th place on damage. Well, when it comes to kills, he's actually joint top position because they got 3 kills, he got 3 kills, and the Jackson got 3 kills. 2 kills went to the T-34 Shielded on his team, and to the Challenger ARL-44 and the other enemy VP on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, it's the Jackson that did the best with 767. The Challenger got 702, and the Tiger P got 692, but Appa got the highest base XP on his team with 430. He fired 19 rounds, which is ridiculously small amount for a VP. It's less than half the ammunition. He got 11 direct hits on the enemy, none of them penetrated, but he did get 17 splash. Damage of 1,166 hit points, of which 454 were at more than 300 meters, so most of the damage was done at close range. He received 4 hits from the enemy, and all 4 were penetrations. 7 enemy vehicles were damaged, 3 were killed, and he got 55 defense points when he reset the cap. On a premium count, he actually made a profit of 3,970 credits for that game, and he also got 903 XP. I think he probably would have done much more damage if he'd actually switched over to using the heat rounds and the arm piercing on some of the tanks that were sitting inside the cap circle, because although HE is good, at close range like that, the armor piercing can actually be more beneficial because the rounds, well, some of them will go straight through the sides of enemy tanks. You wouldn't get a bounce like you did off that Jackson. He fired 1 round in, didn't have any effect upon the Jackson. It should have gone straight through the Jackson, right out the other side. In fact, if it had been a heat round, it would have done that. It easily would have done that. So it shows that sometimes you have to remember to use the right round at the right range. and I think heat rounds would have been much, much better. He probably would have taken out the Challenger at close range as well. There was a slight hesitation when the Challenger came around the corner, because he was expecting the M4A1 to come around the corner, and he was aiming in on that guy, and all of a sudden this Challenger appeared out of nowhere. I got no warning about it, and he hesitated, and that's when the Challenger got his shot in, and that was the end for him. So there you go. End of the first game. It's a defeat, but there's another replay, so let's have a look at the second one. The second replay is on Studzianki map, and he's on the west spawn. Game on. Well, as you know, the BP is actually made from a Shure MV7X that was captured by the Germans. They captured an awful lot of them in the Fall of France, the Battle of France. And it was unfortunate because it was a very good tank, but a lot of them broke down. Some of them died in battle, were destroyed, and the crew surrendered. And so the Germans captured these vehicles, and they called them Butpanzer or Prize Panzer, because of course it was a prize to actually capture an enemy tank, which could then be put into use for the Germans. Now, we're looking at the center line at the moment. We're trying to check and see where the enemy might suddenly appear. Our Lux is in the center line. He hasn't found anyone yet, but there is an M5A1 Stuart down over on the east side of the center line. Round south. Slight lead is around about 1.4 seconds delay before we get to the target. The unfortunate thing is that if a vehicle's moving fast, it can be difficult to put in enough lead to hit the target. It needs a lot of practice to learn how to do that. In fact, somebody just the other day suggested that, oh, that was a direct hit. That hit the Panzer IV Ausführung D. And there he is, he's missing hit points. Yes, somebody the other day suggested that we need an instruction video, and I think actually I probably do need to do it, but I need to do it with some friends from Arty Noobs to put together something which approximates what we need to show on how to work. That's a good direct hit. The Panzer IV F2 took a round there. Now, I think actually, really, we need to show basics. We need to show things such as how do you, which good firing positions you use. Oh, there's the D, rounds out. It should hit. Yep, got a hit and got a kill. There are things we need to show people because you see, Wargaming never actually put in any instructional manual or tutorial on how to play Arty. They just basically did not want to provide any instruction to Arty players because they didn't want Arty in the game, really. But they had to put Arty in the game because Arty does have a significant effect on major battles or any battle today. In fact, a major number of enemy vehicles were killed in World War II by artillery. Most of the time mobility kills, because of course they disabled an enemy tank on the battlefield, and the crews would then have to abandon it because they couldn't defend it. And that Panzer IV F2 is about to get his rear handed to him, and that's another kill for Appa. Okay, well, this is a tier 5 game with tier 4 tanks in it. That's a T6 medium, and he's going to hit that one really hard, as much as he can. Okay, that shell went to the right and long. Yes, I think it doesn't really have to be a very long instruction series of videos. We just need to do a few every now and then. Think of about 15 minutes long, teaching an aspect of the game. That's the third kill. He's racking them up. Yeah, we just need to teach a basic one aspect of Arty play with each video, just to show them how it's actually done. I think the reason why many people never actually play Arty is because they just don't know how to. And they don't know that Arty actually can actually have a dramatic effect upon the game as a whole. Because, of course, we actually provide the support that will enable their teammates to actually get the most out of the game. You see, that M5A1 came up onto that little building there. He was stationed there for a second, waiting for his teammate to catch up with him. And now he's very vulnerable, and he's out the game. Yeah, silly move to make, but there you go. So 4 kills now for Appa. Can he get a 5th? Well, not that one. And there's only 2 enemies left. Well, now there's only 1 enemy left. It looks like they're going to win this one. Okay, the last enemy is an M485, one of the premium tanks that was brought into the game. It's an M4 with an 85mm gun, like the Soviet gun. The Soviets did have a lot of Shermans during the war, but I've never actually heard of them actually fitting an 85mm gun to a Sherman, mainly down to the fact that it's not much space in the turret. Well, that's his 5th kill. And that is the end of the game. Here's the end of battle results, and that was a 3rd-class tanker for Appa561 of OLIMP in the Fifi. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He actually ended up with 5, which is 1/3 of the enemy team, and 1 short of getting a Top Gun. He also got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in this game. He got 6, and his win rate from the game, 2,530, which is Unicum standards. So he was really cracking it out, and he was saying Frag Fist 2024, and it is really, because obviously in the right circumstances, this tank can literally devastate the enemy, because at the right tiers, it can literally carve its way straight through the armor of the enemy tank. If we look at the team score, we can see he didn't get the highest damage in the game. That actually went to the M5A1 Stuart, or at least one of them. He got 1,423 hit points and the highest damage in the game, but didn't get a high caliber because it wasn't 20% of the enemy hit pool. And we can see that, yes, that guy was in platoon with the other M5A1 Stuart. And so one of them did a quick run down to the south. That was one of those 2 players. And another one, then they got together up in the north, and that's when they got into trouble and they got wiped out. I think they were both from the Shack clan as well, because we can see that this one says Shack, and that one also says Shack. So yes, they must be platoon mates and also in the same clan. So anyway, going back to the details of how much damage, the VK3001H got the 2nd highest damage in the game, 1,144. 3rd highest damage went to the Striv M42, who managed 1,122, and he also got a Spartan in the game. We can see Appa got 1,059, which actually puts him in 4th place on damage. When it came to kills, though, he was top. He got 5 kills. 2 kills went to the VK3001H and to the M5 Stuart and to the Panzer IV F2 and to the BDRG-1B on his team. Nobody on the enemy team managed to get more than 1 kill, and only 4 players actually managed to kill at all in that game. When it came to base XP, he's in 2nd place. So 623 went to Appa561, 696, the top score went to the VK3001H, and the 3rd place went to the Panzer IV F2. He got 620. The M10 on our team got a Confederate, and the Striv M42 got the Spartan. The Lux got a patrol duty. Appa fired 20 rounds, so again, less than half the ammo, because it's only 50 rounds of ammo, but that's still a very small amount, considering that you can fire this Arty very, very quickly. It reloads very quickly indeed. 8 direct hits on the enemy, 3 penetrations, 11 splash. Can we guess which ones we penetrated in that game? Well, I would have thought the M5A1 Stuart was a penetrating shot because it's got very low armor, but in fact, it wasn't the one he penetrated. The one that he killed right at the end, the M485, he did penetrate that guy, and he did get 2 penetrating shots against the Panzer IV F2, and I think that, yes, not the Panzer IV D, but it was, oh, so it was only those 2. Okay, so it's only those 2, because of course he had 3 penetrations, yes. 11 splashes, damage of 1,059, all of it at more than 300 meters, damage 5 of the enemy, kill 5, and he earned 6,692 credits, 25 bonds for a mission achievement, and 5,048 experience points out of it as well. So a decent game to finish off with out of that batch. At least things are turning right again. I think the best thing about the FIFA is just keep playing, and eventually you will get a really good game, which is enjoyable. And that's when you can obviously you'll start getting some good results. It's an Arty where you need to get your eye in, and you also need to get into the rhythm of firing that one shot every 7 seconds to actually get as much damage. You also need to be able to dial in on the target to make sure that each shot is as accurate as you can get. But yes, it's a lot of fun, this Arty. And if Wargaming were to bring in more premium Arty, I guarantee that they would make a fortune out of it. And they'd also get a lot of people playing Arty for a change. They might even have to increase the number of Arty in each game just to accommodate all those extra Arty players wanting to play the Arty. If you enjoyed that replay, or both replays, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And of course, please remember that we're trying to raise money for Edwin E20 because, of course, he's got a GoFundMe running at the moment to try and save and keep his house because he might be about to lose it, and we don't want that to happen. So if you can just spare a couple of quid, you can pay that over at the GoFundMe, and that would be great. Thanks very much for watching.